I have yet to meet a person who says they don't like orange chicken, especially when you got some chow mein to go with it. It just hits different. Now, you may be tempted to go to the mall and pick some up, but it won't be as good as if you made it yourself. So let's get to it. Let's start off with the chow mein. We're gonna get 1 stalk of celery and dice it. I recommend cutting it down the middle so the pieces won't be as difficult to work with. Next, take 1/2 a head of cabbage and roughly chop it. Make sure to watch your fingers. You're not finna sue me, cause I don't have it. Also, I diced up 1/2 a white onion off camera. You'll need that as well, but if you wanna see me cut one, you can watch any one of my previous videos. Onto the sauce. In a bowl, combine soy sauce, oyster sauce, and toasted sesame oil. You can play around with each amount if you want, just get a taste that you like. Add in some ground ginger and whisk it all together. Fresh ginger will also work, but we're practical cooks here, come on. Now for these flavors to really pop, we need to add some sugar. Don't overdo it, that comes later. But the sauce needs to have a hint of sweetness to it. Once you get that all mixed in, we're ready to start making our noodles. Also, if you're the type of guy who gets fried rice when you're at Panda Express, shame on you. But I do have a recipe on my channel that will show you how to make the best fried rice you've ever had. I'm just leave that here, shameless plug. Now this recipe goes by pretty fast, so make sure you have everything prepped beforehand. I got thin rice noodles from the store and used the instructions on the back of the box to make them. You want to get a pot of water up to a boil and lightly salt the water. Get the noodles dropped in and let them boil for about 4 or 5 minutes. You'll also want to use a pair of tongs to separate the noodles about halfway through. You don't want them to be stuck together. The key here is to take them out right before they're all the way cooked through. We're going to be cooking them a second time, and that's the only way to prevent mushy chow mein. Once they are al dente, strain the noodles and rinse them with a little bit of cold water. Into the saute pan goes a little oil, the half of onion, celery, and the cabbage. You want to introduce these to some garlic and let them soften and become fragrant. After about 3 minutes, they should have reduced down. Slowly add in that sauce we made earlier and let that simmer. When the sauce begins to thicken, add those noodles back in. This part won't take long, so make sure you grab your bowl for when it's done. Give your pan a couple of mediocre flips to get the sauce well incorporated. The veggies sometimes stay at the bottom, so you want to go in there with your tongs again and loosen them up. Now's the best time for another taste test. If everything is good, congratulations, you just made chow mein. Now for the main event. Chicken thighs work best for this dish, but go with whatever you have in your fridge. For the guys who are still in college or on a budget, get a pack of bone-in chicken thighs and fillet them yourself. A pack of 8 is usually well under $10 at the grocery store. Using a sharp knife, cut the thighs into 1-inch cubes. You can also take off any excess fat if you want, but I chose to leave it on. Unlike traditional fried chicken, we're going to be making a wet batter for these, but first we gotta season it. Mix together a heaping amount of garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. Remember fellas, no one will ever love you if you don't season your food. Don't be afraid to add flavor. Next, you're gonna get about 1/2 cup of soy sauce and about the same amount of cornstarch. This will make our orange chicken super crispy. While this is going on, go ahead and get a pot of oil or your deep fryer going. It will save you some time in the end. Crack an egg into the bowl and add 1/2 cup of water. Mix everything together until the batter has the consistency of a paste, kind of like this, then set it to the side. On to our second sauce of the evening. Start by zesting 1 orange into a bowl, then go ahead and cut that same orange and squeeze all of the juice out of it. And dear God, please don't do this if you haven't washed your hands in between. A citrus squeezer also comes in handy for this. If you haven't used the entire bottle already, add some soy sauce to the mix and some ground ginger. A few shakes of red chili flakes and garlic goes in as well. The recipe calls for rice vinegar here, but all I had was white wine vinegar, so that's gonna work for now. Alright guys, I didn't record this in fear of the FDA knocking down my door, but I added about a cup, if not more, of sugar into the sauce. Now I know that might seem excessive, but that's what makes it so good. Of course, you can lower the amount based on your preference, but I like my orange chicken just like how it was back in the day, good and sweet. When your oil reaches about 325 to 350, we're ready to start dropping the chicken. For the best results, double fry it so that it comes out crazy crispy. But if you're low on time, just bump up the temperature to around 360 and you'll be fine. Whether you're deep frying or using a pan like I am, you want to make sure you flip them over about halfway through for an even cook. We're going to take these out after about 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and raise the oil to that 360 mark and get them in there for about 2 more minutes or until golden brown. Let's go ahead and wrap this up here. Get a hot skillet and get your sauce to a simmer. Give it a nice stir and get your chicken in there while it's still hot. At this point, you can either flip the pan to get all the pieces coated or use a rubber spatula. Just be gentle so that the crust remains intact. By now, they should be looking like a work of art. Let's plate. And there you have it. Orange chicken and chow mein at your house. Now, if your date doesn't like this, she may have to go. Just kidding. Not really. Anyways, thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe and leave a like so you don't miss anything from the night.